How's it going, friends? Back with your second non-fungible framework, and this time we're talking, of course, about frame. This is the most important concept that you might not have heard of, and this is again and again one of the biggest levers that you can add to your sales calls. And unless you have dove into a decent amount of training, it's very unlikely that you are doing this every single time you get on a call. And really, anytime you get on any meeting for that matter, this should become your habit and therefore your destiny. Now, what a frame is an unspoken agreement. And so it goes without saying, but let's go ahead and fix that and let's make it even clearer. So looking at the frame, there are really three elements of a good frame. There is an agenda, there are outcomes, and then there is buy-in or permission and acceptance from the other side. And I'll share with you what those sound like here in a moment with an example at the end of this video. Now, first, in order for you to frame out a good agenda, a clear agenda, an agenda that is agreed upon by your prospect, you must know the call types. So if you are a setter and you are calling someone out of the blue, there's an agenda there, and it's really pretty brief. Get their attention and book maybe a better time to talk unless they give you their time and attention right on the spot. If you are a setter qualifying, then there is an agenda for a 10 to 20 minute phone call in which you will get clearer on their situation and determine if it makes sense for them to talk to a closer or the business owner further about how we could specifically serve and solve their problem and help them out. As a closer, the agenda for the 45 to 60 minute strategy session or consultation or one call close, as you know it, has an agenda that is really 2 or 3-fold. And that leads us into outcomes. We want to understand what they want out of the call by suggesting and sharing what we aim to get out of the call. Now, each and every one of you will have some nuance in how you serve, how you show up and communicate clearly what you're looking to actually get out of the call. Again, I'll share with you mine here in a second. After we give clarity, perhaps, on the agenda and the outcomes of the call, we want to obtain buy-in from the prospect. And so we are going to use the reasonable person question. Sound fair enough? So here's what a good frame for a high-ticket sales call looks like, and I'll give you 3 examples. I will give you an outbound call, I will give you a qualifying call for a setter, so 2 setter calls, and I will give you the 1 call close frame. So here's the outbound call. Hey, Mr. Customer, Cody here from such and such company. Actually just wanted to call you quickly out of the blue. Do you have 2 seconds to chat about your business? Blank business, health, relationship, finances, you name it. So do you have 2 seconds to chat about growing your business? So there's an outbound frame that I might use, and it's pretty effective. I oftentimes get 10 to 20 minutes of someone's time when they tell me that they only have a few seconds. Interesting how that works. Secondly, if I am calling simply to qualify and differentiate or determine if someone's a fit to talk with the closer, whether I'm going to cancel or keep a call or book a second appointment, that's less of the point. What is the point is a frame that sounds like this. So, Mr. Customer, what I want to do with you today is just really quickly, not waste any of your time, get down to business about where you're at currently with your situation, ask you a few questions that would help us determine what would be the best fit for you right now, if we can help you. If we determine on the call today that that makes sense, what I can do is set you up with so-and-so, our program advisor, our blah, 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 and they'll be able to tell you and share with you the exact strategy that we might take you from here to there. So that is simply the discovery frame. Now, if you're a closer and you want to understand how to frame out your entire 60-minute or 45-minute strategy sessions, you basically put the second one together and add a little bit at the end. So here's what it sounds like in total. So, Mr. Customer, what I'd like to do today is really get clear on currently where you're at with your business, where you'd like to go with it, of course, if we can help you overcome the gap that's in between. I'll share with you today exactly what it looks like to work with us. If we run out of time, we can always schedule another appointment. And if at any point in the call you or I don't really feel like it would make sense to work together, whether that's right now or at all, then I'll be totally transparent and honest with you on that. And all I'm asking is that you do the same with me. Does that sound like a plan? Now, I might also add to that, is there anything specific that you were looking to get out of the call today, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer? So if you notice, I was clear about what's going to happen on the call and the agenda of it, what I would like or what I see as the possible outcomes. We either talk about working together or we don't, and I'm going to be honest. All I'm asking is that you be honest with me as well. Sound fair enough? Sound like a plan? Sound good? And they're going to say yes. And at that point, they have agreed to your frame. That way, if you get one of these types of people who are as driver personality, you can remind them politely but powerfully that you already told them how the call was going to go. And so if they ask for price early, you can put them back in their place respectfully and move about your process. And if it happens again or 2, 3, 4 more times, then you can decide to respectfully end the call. So that in a nutshell is frame. Now, this leads me to a much bigger conversation that I won't really go into in this short video. How that is the unspoken side of framing and posturing hierarchies, really is what that is. Now, you've seen these at play if you've ever been at a job interview or been interviewing someone for a job. There is a frame and a posture and a hierarchy at play. If you have been to a concert where the performer was on a raised stage, then you have seen a frame right before your eyes without realizing it. They are elevating themselves above you. The interviewer sits behind a desk, arms folded, with a clipboard or a series of questions, interrogating you, interviewing you. You are the subject. They are the authority figure. If you have ever been questioned by the police, you have seen frames at play without really understanding what's going on. And when you understand the frame game, you become much more powerful in any interaction with human beings. So whether you are at the grocery store, chatting up the opposite sex or the same sex at a bar, going to a networking event, interviewing someone for a job, or deciding whether or not to give your kiddo an allowance this week, you have been playing the frame game, and you are certainly playing it on your sales calls, and your prospects, specifically the most sophisticated prospects, are playing that frame game with you. So know the game and know how you will play it. That's all for now on frame. We'll dive into a few examples with call reviews from here, and I'll see you on the next one.